That was From the Wilderness by Architects, and you're listening to the Sports Desk on SYN 90.7 with Liam and Alex, and we are jumping right into the cricket, which was wrapped up yesterday, which was good to see.
It was a win for the Aussies. That's something we haven't said very often lately, and it was a good win, actually. We got over South Africa quite easily, winning by 7 wickets.
Yeah.
I think the tone started when we pretty much... It was the first innings when South Africa declared for 9 for 259. And then Khawaja, who opened because David Warner had a bit of an injury, so he couldn't open. Khawaja scored 145. And that's pretty much set up Australia with Smith and Hanscom. So how do you pronounce the name? I've always
Hanscom.
Hanscom?
Yeah.
Oh, cool.
I think so.
Yeah. Because it's Hanscom on debut scored a half century, which is always good. And also Stark also in total picking up 6 wickets for the match. So, well then when they went out the bat, apart from Cook, everyone pretty much South Africa struggled in their second innings. And comes around to the Aussies again, and Renshaw made 34 and he was not out, one of the openers. Warner and Smith both went out, and then Hanscom as well. So it was the 2 people on debuts at end of the game.
Yeah. Hanscom's single winning the game.
Yes.
I'd like to give a shout out to Renshaw, honestly. Like he batted very well for a debutant. A debutant opener.
Oh, yeah.
Having put out in like the first day in the middle of the night, basically with like 5 overs to go, and you just think, gotta keep this, gotta keep my wicket. And then like, even though he got out like early the next day, and his performance in the second innings has just been nothing less than phenomenal.
Oh, his performance in second innings was typical Test cricket.
Yeah.
34 runs, 135 balls.
It was like 135 balls that he faced.
He was in no rush. We had another day.
Yeah.
And I was looking at things. I think that's good opening with Warner and Renshaw. I think have the one like Warner who wants to make the quick 50.
Yeah.
And have the other one who could be there all day and make 30.
That was what Warner and Rogers was like. Rogers and Warner worked so well because of the fact that they did.
Yeah.
Rogers was there just playing some cricket, and Warner was like, yes, they are.
And that's probably why when Warner started, there was a lot of people were worried about him because of the way he played 2020. He was a 2020 player.
Yeah.
And then he came to the Test and he's done really well.
Yeah, no, he's done well, and I'm glad to see that he's managed to do well.
Yes. I don't know if it's good or bad thing, but at the moment over in New Zealand, the Kiwis are off against Pakistan.
Yeah. Actually, can I just point out that Usman Khawaja was the highest run maker in the series?
Was he?
Yeah, in the series.
No.
I think his 145 helped. But, like, yeah, out of the entire series, he made the most runs. Well, to be fair, he was consistent for us, whereas, like, for the South Africans, there were a few of them that were scoring centuries, not, like, one consistent player.
Over in New Zealand, after winning the first test against Pakistan, who Australia plays next in the Test series, they've currently got a 67-run lead in the start of their second innings.
Yeah.
But we do have New Zealand starting on the weekend in the 1 days. So hopefully we can do a better performance in the 3-1 days we have against them than we do that we did against South Africa. But it's been a crazy year. Usually we have the 5 tests, and then we have some 1 days, and then we play a few 2020s, and then we're done. But now we play the test, then we play 1 days, then we play the test, and then we got a few more 1 days, and then we have 2020s, and I think we have another 1 day because there's a 1 day that's in Geelong, and I think the day after, there's 2020 in Geelong, and the day after we play a 1 dayer.
Oh, jeez, really?
Yeah, that's going to be...
That's intense. But yeah, there's also some Shield cricket going on, and I'd just like to go through that. It hasn't started up yet. It starts up about 10:30 today. So New South Wales is playing Tasmania. New South Wales is Tasmania trails by 388 runs. New South Wales declaring after 5 for 495. Tasmania is currently 5 for 107. So Tasmania might not get there. South Australia posted 360 on day 1, And then Victoria managed to come back on day 2 and get them all out for 405. So, like, for 45 runs, South Africa lost 4 wickets. So, and Victoria's currently trailing by 142 with Aaron Finch currently. Aaron Finch is out, I think.
Why hasn't Aaron Finch ever got test selected, though?
What? He's not a test player.
Oh, no, I thought he would do okay, Aaron Finch.
I think he struggles in the longer forms of the game. Yeah, Finchy scored a century, but he is currently out. Harper is not out on 55. Harper's only 19. He's only 19, and he's I think it's like the backup wicket. He's their backup wicket keeper.
Wow.
I had to ask who was the wicket keeper from the Bushrangers because I had no idea. And yeah, WA trails by 236 runs at the stumps.
Talking about Renshaw, we're talking about age here. Renshaw's only 20 years old.
Yeah.
Like, I remember when I was watching him, like, if Australia, for him to become a superstar, Australia better not get cold feet.
No. Renshaw, I think, will do what... I think Renshaw needs a bit more time. Well, the one that I'm most concerned about out of the 3 that debuted is Maddinson, because he basically did nothing.
Yeah, if anyone gets dropped for the Pakistan test, it'll probably be him.
But I can't say you dropping him because he only had 1 innings.
Yeah. Oh, talking about that, Lyon saved himself. I know Lyon was going to get dropped, but someone got injured. I can't remember the person's name. And he's gone and turned around and got a few wickets. So Lyon's probably saved himself.
Gary the Goat has probably saved himself. Yeah, you're right. I think that happened. But yeah, overall, I think, like, there's just some good cricket going on. And I think, like, I think I still feel like in Shield cricket, players know that if they really do well, they could get a shot at the side, which I think is good because, like, they should be selecting on form, and it's like I feel like they haven't been doing it for a while, at least to the extent that they should be, and now that they are, it's just like it's so much better.
Yeah, I just hope Australians don't turn into Richmond supporters. You know, have one win. And then we're premiers, we're the best team in the world.
Nah, Australian cricket supporters are too used to actually winning a lot.
Yeah, especially back in... I still remember the first time I ever watched cricket, I got into cricket in around 2005, and that was our 5-0 test win over England. So winning is something, Aussies are used to in cricket.
The final ODI for the women's, the Stars versus... the Southern Stars versus the Australia versus South Africa, ended on a tie. 242 to 242. They managed to tie the game, which is crazy because normally you just don't tie games.
No, that's true. It's very, very rare.
Like, because, they actually tied properly as well. Like, they were all out, so, like, no one even won by, like, you know how, like, sometimes, like, technically you won by a wicket or so. But no, it's all tied at 50 overs for South Africa. But, yeah, but Australia won that series easily anyway.
Go Aussies.
But, yeah.
We're going to head off to a song.
Yeah, we're going to go to a song.
And we're going to talk about the AFL draft.
Yeah, the AFL draft. The magical place where dreams are made, lives are lost, or no lives are lost. This is Grange by Hockey Dad. You're listening to The Sports Desk. And you're listening to The Sports Desk on SYN 90.7 with Liam and Alex. And the AFL draft has just concluded with the rookie draft coming on today.
Yes, the rookie in preseason. I don't understand the point of the preseason draft. Like, it used to be for... Most of the time for clubs to get players from other clubs.
Yeah.
So... I'm pretty sure the preseason draft, there might be one player picked up, which I'm assuming could be Xavier Richards-Dessinen.
Yeah.
It's the only big pickup. But the draft, I know weeks of speculation, and for the most time, it seemed like McCluggage would have gone number 1.
Yeah.
But in the end of the day, it was Andrew McGrath, the Canadian-born.
The closer it got to the draft, the lower McCluggage's name went.
Yeah.
Like, he never left, like, the top 5, but he was no longer the top pick.
And he never looked like on the GWS either.
No, but what was I about to say? Yeah, so, whereas one of the things that always amused me though was that I was reading Andrew McGrath in the Canadian media like ate it up. Like they called it like the Australian rules football draft or something weird. They could not the AFL draft, but like they called it something very odd. But like they were like, it made like the front pages of them because like normally like think about the time difference between them and us.
Yeah.
Like if we're playing footy, it'd be on at like 3 a.m. or something, and like no one picks it up. But like I think they might see a bit more of it over there.
I don't know about you, but with Andrew McGrath, talking about him, he's 176 or 179. I'm not 100% sure, but he's in his 170s. So he's quite small. But
yeah.
I think he will be a bit like Dyson Head, but he'll probably start his first 2 years in the half-back line.
Oh, yeah, you reckon?
And then slowly move into the midfield.
Alright. I don't know. Maybe just keep an eye on him. He might move up first, depending on... It depends on, like, his speed and whatnot.
I think a player like Hugh McCluggage seems like he'll be an absolute superstar. So if I was Brisbane's biggest issue is to keep him.
Yeah.
Because pretty much the second he got drafted, I even went on the Brisbane Facebook page, and it was, he doesn't look happy, he'll leave in 2 years. Like, this is Brisbane supporters that have no faith. Because look at the list of players who's left them in the last few years. They've been losing players left, right, and centre. I
mean, although I think the issue is that when it comes to like Brisbane, because they don't win a lot, I think that also doesn't help.
Yeah, but I think it's only been recent that young players now shot for premierships.
Yeah.
Like, it used to be a thing where, someone like Brian Lake, who's
like, I've got like 3 years left in me.
I'll get a premiership. But now young players seem to do it. It seems to be...
Yeah.
And, you're probably going to disagree with me as a Hawthorn fan, but with O'Meara and Mitchell, Hawthorn at the moment are on the way down. They will win and probably make top 8 again next year.
I've never thought Hawthorn would stay up there. Like, everyone was like, 4 in a row, and I'm like, doubt it.
Like, I just think Hawthorn now, I wouldn't say a rebuild, but...
Hawthorn's goal is to remain competitive.
Yeah.
That is what, if Hawthorn remains competitive, and like, even if we drop out of the top 4, but as long as we stay top 8 for the next couple of years, I'll be happy.
And that's the thing, that's why as a young player, you don't go shopping for premierships, because times change. Brisbane could be a premiership contender in 5 years.
Yeah.
Seems very unlikely, but they could.
But, like, yeah, because you've got, like, all these building teams that are coming up, whereas, like, Hawthorn's strategy of, like, getting older players might...
come back and bite them on the bum.
Yeah. But who knows?
I think the winner of the draft will probably be Gold Coast with their 4 picks inside the top.
Yeah, top 10.
Thing. And talking about one of the players, the one that I think Brisbane should have picked up, Ben Ainsworth, who went at pick 4. He was the guy who told Brisbane that he would love to come up there and would love to stay, wouldn't be a 2-year player.
Yeah.
So either Brisbane didn't really want him, or they have a lot of faith that McCluggage would actually stay for more than 2 years.
Yeah.
And talking about the top 10, Griffin Log for Fremantle.
Yeah.
Very surprising. No one had, in any of the fantasy drafts, he was not a top 10 in any of them. No,
but who knows?
And Log is a running defender.
Yeah.
So, and he's very, very quick, and that's pretty much what boosted him up. He was very good in his draft combine.
Yeah.
Another surprising pickup for me was pick 58 for the GWS Giants. They picked up Matthew De Boer.
Yeah.
Who got delisted by the Fremantle Dockers this year.
Oh, yeah.
Someone I didn't... But I can see De Boer come to a club. I even said here last week that there was rumours that Melbourne was looking at him.
Yeah.
So I can see him going to a club, but maybe not a club like GWS. I just don't know where he would fit in.
I don't know. Like, so the issue is that, like, with the draft, everyone's like, oh, why have you picked up this player? But then, like, everything, like, slightly changes in the team, and you're like, that's where their spot is. Like... You can't go in every year with a stagnant team. You've got to change things up a little. Yeah. And I think that's the good thing about the draft is that, like, you get that. Whereas just Hawthorn goes for established players but plays them differently. Whereas, like, other teams, like Gold Coast, go for draft picks.
Well, we'll actually, after we talk about the draft, we'll touch on Gold Coast. But before we get to that, I think Hawthorn got the best player, though. picking up Mitchell Lewis. That is...
Mitchell Lewis,
they just want to take the piss out of everyone with that.
My favourite thing is that he wore 53 for the Cold Cannons. Sam Mitchell wearing number 5 and Jordan Lewis wearing number 3.
I honestly think that's the only reason why Hawthorn picked him up, was because of his name.
I don't know. He was actually a pretty decent player, but, like, you know, on top of that, the name just makes it so much better.
So I've got a question for you.
Yeah.
During last week, North Melbourne retired Boomer Harvey's number 29. There's a lot of Freo supporters that think that Fremantle should do the same with their 29 jumper worn by Pavlich.
Yeah.
What do you think? As a Freo supporter myself, I see it more as Boomer Harvey's a premiership player, a captain, the most games ever played in AFL, VFL.
Boomer Harvey is basically history.
Yeah. Well, I think, you know, Freo has spent pretty much their entire history relying on Pav. His best example was the 2013 Grand Final in the last quarter, and every ball that went into our 450 went to Pavlich. So, as a Freo supporter myself, I personally think that we should keep the number alive. Yeah. Because, you know, you don't want to be too wild up on Pavlich because, you know, he's gone. I think for years Freo has never had a good forward because we've been so reliant on this one player. Yeah. So, I don't know about you, but I personally don't think we should retire the number.
I mean, yeah. Hawthorn's only retired one number, and that was number 5.
No, you still have number 5.
No, we retired it, but then we brought it out of retirement. We retired it after Peter Crimmins. Yeah. But then after that, we unretired it for Andy Collins in like '92 because apparently Andy Collins reminded the Crimmins family of their dad. So they were like, can you unretire it?
Actually, Mitchell and Crimmins they're good similarities right there. I like Sam Mitchell and Peter Crimmins when they're both number 5.
Yeah.
That looked good together.
Yeah, like that's the other thing is that like but yeah, so Sam Mitchell but yeah, it's just one of those things where like retiring numbers is very big in like US things.
Yeah, it's a very US.
And I get why, and like I can see them retiring Boomer's number, even if it's just temporarily. But, like, I don't know why you would, like, part of me is just, like, you know, wearing a number of, say, depending on who played it, like, you know, can mean something. Like, it'd be nice to still see the number out there. Like, you know, the number 3 worn by Lee Matthews, as well as, like, you know, Jordan Lewis is still being played. And I just think it's always great to see. But, you know, that's just me.
Yeah. Now, the last AFL topic, probably for a while, we pretty much know AFL for a while now. It's the Gary Ablett situation. The Gary Ablett, Campbell Brown, with him on Campbell Brown on Friday, sending a tweet saying, let's get the tweet up. My mail, Suns players filthy Gaz. Who messages are all reaffirming comments to club, reaffirming commitment to club. After requesting trade, hasn't returned for day 1 of pre-season. Yeah. Gary Ablett has wrote a letter just recently explaining that he's had a lot of family issues and that. You saw
that Gary Ablett also tweeted out, "You have my number."
Yeah.
Like, jeez.
And I know Kane Corns also commented saying that he deserves a break. And I do agree with Cam Brown on one aspect. I do agree that, because he did mention that Scott Pendlebury, Luke Hodge was back early. Yeah. Taylor Walker and Rory Sloan were both back 2 weeks before they had to, just doing laps and. Yeah. And they're all clubs, apart from Collingwood, they're all clubs that's been kind of successful the last few years. Yeah. So you need a player like Ablett stepping up and probably being the first one on the track, last one to leave, to set the example. Yeah. Which could help the fact that also that he might be stripped of the captaincy because of all this off-field drama that he's having.
Yeah. But yeah, I think it's just one of those ones where Ablett's got a bunch of issues, and nothing wrong with that. Everyone goes through these sorts of times, and maybe the captaincy should go to someone else because of the fact that so much is going on, and it's hard to keep a straight head. And I'd rather him focus on his footy, than have to get what's happening, get through whatever's happening off the field, and then focus on your footy, rather than having to worry about the captaincy as well.
Well, I've been saying for ages now that I do believe Gold Coast should have a new captain, Tom Lynch or Stephen May or both. I've been saying for ages that they should rebuild, which they're doing now with their four top 10 draft picks, around a new player. I think they made a big mistake by even getting Gary Ablett to start.
Yeah. Oh no, I think Gary Ablett's been all right for the club, like as a whole.
Oh, it's not Gary Ablett that I'm saying was a mistake. It was the fact that the way they handled having Gary Ablett on their team.
Yeah, like the first couple of years, it was like and even now to a lesser extent, you can see the fact that when Gablett's not there, they go down.
Mm. So having someone like Tom Lynch, who had a stellar season, made All Australian, him becoming captain.
Yeah, I'd like to see someone from the club becoming the captain, because like I just feel like it's just one of those things that, like, due to the fact that no one's, due to the fact that it's always just been Ablett. If they have someone else, I think it might ground the team more.
Well, see, I'm actually against players from other clubs coming to becoming captain. I know it's hard for expansion teams, but like an example that I could honestly tell you that I believe that Dangerfield will probably captain Geelong one day.
Yeah.
Well, before we go to a song break, speaking of Dangerfield, this is just me, and I'm also against players, quote unquote, homesick.
Yeah.
Him being on the draft show.
Yeah.
My issue is that because we're talking about players moving interstate and hopefully having a long career, and they have someone who cried home.
Yeah.
So I'm a bit against. I just didn't think he was the best guest to have on a draft show. That's my personal opinion.
Yeah, no, I get that. I don't know. Players requesting home, I don't have an issue with, but I feel like they need to be at a certain level.
Oh, I just think that they're getting to a career called Australian Football League, where they could play all over Australia.
Yeah.
And I just think some of them should really just suck it up.
Yeah.
But that's the thing. It's always happened.
Yeah.
Like, Treadway wanted out of Port Adelaide. Brown almost got traded to Collingwood. Pavlich wanted to trade back to WA, South Australia. It's just that it wasn't as publicised as it is today.
Yeah.
Like, wait till Weaver retires, and he'll probably have an interview saying that he wanted to go. Oh, he's from Tassie or the Gold Coast. I don't know which one he's actually from. But yeah, he's probably wanted to move at one point as well.
Yeah. Oh, I think we'll go to a song now. This is "She's Out of Her Mind" by Blink-182. You're listening to the Sports Desk on SYN 90.7. And you're listening to the Sports Desk here on SYN 90.7 with Liam and Alex. We're talking all about the A-League and what happened.
Well, last week, 5 different clubs were like, hey, I want a team. So, yeah, that's pretty much happened. And early next year, they're going to do all the process, and there'll probably be 2 new teams, either 2017, 2018, and 2018, 2019. But the list of teams, and this is I've got a voting poll here from the Herald Sun, so it might be Victorian bias, but we got Tasmania, South West Sydney, Southern Sydney, Wollongong, Geelong, South Melbourne, South East Melbourne, which is Dandenong, Casey, Brisbane, West Adelaide, Canberra, Perth, and others.
Brisbane's already got a team.
Yeah, but the Brisbane Strikers, they'll be known as.
I really don't want another Melbourne team.
Well, South Melbourne's, which is, they even said is the second biggest club in Victoria still. That's, so sorry, Melbourne City. The most popular one here with 61% of the votes. Could be because it's a Victorian newspaper, but
yeah, I think that has something to do with it.
The second most popular one is Tasmania.
Yeah, which
is, always they're due for a team forever in every something. Sport. Oh, and I think Tasmania getting a soccer club will ruin any chance of AFL being there, because it's a bit like Canberra. Canberra was really big in AFL until the Raiders came in.
Yeah.
And when the Raiders came in, AFL pretty much died off.
I mean, I think the only thing that would save like the AFL in Tasmania was, one, the AFL's already been there for a while, whereas like the soccer less so, at least at that level. And 2, they're played at different times of the year. Like, there's a bit of crossover, but overall, the soccer season ends and the AFL season starts.
Pretty much, yeah.
Yeah.
But I know. So when they do it in, they'll say, I think they said January. If the A-League has their way, Canberra is probably the A-League's team. So
I mean,
there'll be a Canberra team if the A-League has their way.
I mean, Canberra Olympic did make it to like the semi-finals of the FFA Cup.
And there's a Canberra A-League women team.
Is there? Oh.
Yep. So,
but there's no men's team.
Yeah. So Canberra's probably going to be the big one.
Yeah.
And then I would say probably I would go Tasmania. Like, I don't think Melbourne needs another team. Like,
No.
If we're going to make a team, make it in Geelong, but I don't think Melbourne needs another team.
No.
And the fact that we have... I would hate to have Melbourne, and South Melbourne. At least change the name of the Melbourne City to, like, North Melbourne City or something like that.
Yeah.
Just to keep, different names. So what about you? If you had to choose out of all those teams, what would your pick be?
we had Geelong?
We had Tasmania, South West Sydney, Southern Sydney, Wollongong, Geelong, South Melbourne, South East Melbourne, Brisbane Strikers, West Adelaide, Canberra, Perth.
I don't have enough fingers. So, like, some of that is just teams wanting, cities wanting another team. And looking at the whole Melbourne City and Melbourne Victory thing, I'm not sure you'd want that, especially considering the A-League is still a bit of a fledgling where it's, like, starting to get popular. And then, like, you'd have, like, Adelaide United, which is shown to be a successful team. And, like, then you just chuck in another Adelaide or Perth Glory, because Perth was Adelaide in there?
Yeah.
All the cities of Australia were basically in there.
Well, that's the thing. Like, South Melbourne is, like they said, the second most popular Melbourne soccer team, still having their support from the regional soccer league. So South Melbourne would be a success. But the issue is, which kind of shows with Victory and Melbourne City. Melbourne City is a bit high supporting team in Victoria. Bring in another team and try to get supporters won't work out. But then you get a city like Adelaide and Perth who have supporters but don't have a large supporter base. I couldn't imagine trying to bring in another club. How that would be a success. So my tips would be a Canberra team will come in first, then get a Tassie team, and the AFL will try to relocate North Melbourne to Tasmania just to even up the numbers.
No, I don't know. I think it's like one of those ones where Tasmania, you're right, maybe get a team. I still don't think there's that much to worry about right now in terms of the AFL and soccer, like, as, like, one or the other. Because, like, you can still support both. And in Tasmania, like, there's only, like, a few games played there anyway every year. So
there's quite a few. Isn't there? 3. There's 5 Hawthorn.
Yeah, and like 3 North Melbourne.
That's pretty much a season of home games.
Yeah, true. But like, if you only go for Hawthorn, that's only 5 games.
Yeah.
But still, that's quite a few. You're right. But yeah, I think it's one of those ones where, if I was going to expand, Canberra, I think would be a good one.
Oh, see, I on my notes.
Yeah.
On my notes, I have Canberra highlighted because Canberra will be the A-League. Even if Canberra had 0%, they're the team that the A-League want.
See, the other thing is that, like, in Tasmania, there's a big division between North and South.
Yeah.
And that's why I think, like, not a lot of people realise this, is that, like, their papers print different things. Like, when my dad was in Tassie, and what he was saying was that, like, when North Melbourne announced that they were going to have like some games played at Blunston, and Launceston's papers were like, "Oh, why do you need another club coming down here? We've already got footy. It's a waste of money." And then you had the ones in Hobart acting as if like footy was never played in Tasmania before, and there's just that big division, and so that's the thing you run into, is that like you can give Hobart a team, but like people in Launceston may not support them, and that's the issue you run into. Whereas like if you run a Canberra team, you know that there's generally going to be support throughout.
I don't know. Maybe I would agree with that, but I think if they made a Tasmania, especially a Tasmanian AFL team, it would be they'll probably play 2 games in Launceston. A bit like what GWS does with Canberra.
Yeah, like I would actually like to see a Canberra team, because I feel like Canberra's only got the Raiders, and that's it in terms of sport teams. Like, they've got nothing. They don't have a cricket team. They don't have anything. But what I mean is, like, that's also fresh ground for the A-League, because no one's playing over there. Like, there's no competition there. Like, in terms of like wanting going for like vying for like public opinion. There's no competition.
And they can again split the games between Launceston and Hobart. Will probably cost a bit more money, but they could.
Yeah, but I think Tasmania is still a lesser option to Canberra.
Oh yeah, Canberra would definitely be the option.
Yeah, I mean it's a safer pick. We're
going to go to a song. We're going to run through the round 8 of the A-League season and preview the FFA Cup final between the Melbourne City and Sydney FC here on the Sports Desk.
This is Suit Yourself by Ballpark Music. You're listening to the Sports Desk on Sin 90.7. You're listening to the Sports Desk on Sin 90.7 with Liam and Alex. And we're going to talk more about the A-League, but we're going to go through results and, decent week of A-League coming up. With the big surprise, I mean, we've been tracking it and, all of a sudden, it's over.
Yes, it's finally happened. The drought, as Des Comedy said, the drought, it's over.
The drought is over.
The dam wall's busted. With Central Coast picking up their first home win since 2015, which would have been exactly December 31st, 2015.
Oh, geez, really?
Yep, where they picked up a 3-1 win over Wellington.
Yep.
But it's also been 594 days since they've had a clean sheet, and they've won 2-0 over the Perth Glory on Thursday.
Yeah.
Oh, it's been a long time coming.
I mean, that's a little bit of a surprise considering, Perth Glory is ranked above Central Coast in terms of, rankings on the ladder.
Yeah, they've been they've been one of the premiership fancies, actually.
Yeah, they still are, really, because there's only, although besides Sydney FC, there's 5 points between them and City.
Yeah.
Sorry, 5 points between them and City, and but Central Coast is creeping up on 2 points.
Yeah, they're in the top 6 now.
Yeah.
Also on Friday night we had the Wanderers draw 1-1 with Brisbane. On Saturday, Ian Fife robbed Marcus Rojas of 2 goals after it was classed as an own goal. Originally it was classed as a goal for Rojas, but it will turn out it was an own goal.
Oh no!
Where Victory got a 2-0 win over Newcastle. Top of the ladder, Sydney FC got their second draw in a row, and Adelaide United are still about to win after 8 rounds.
Yeah, that's surprising from the Premiership, the winning team. But who knows?
Go down to Sunday, and Melbourne City Melbourne City won 2-1, which brings us down to the ladder, with Sydney top of the ladder
easily
on 20 points, followed by Melbourne City on 16. Melbourne Victory and Wellington still have a game to play, because of the last week's cancellation due to the earthquake in New Zealand.
Yeah.
So Melbourne Victory and Wellington are a game behind the rest.
Yeah.
But yeah.
It doesn't look like Wellington's going to go anywhere.
But Melbourne Victory, on 13 points with a game in hand.
Yeah, I think that they watching that one should be a good one. But yeah, so there's been quite a good match.
Yeah, and then we had Brisbane. Brisbane's in 4th, Perth's in 5th, and around out top 6, Central Coast. Which is, how do you play not too crash hot and still make, be in finals contention? Then you got runners up from last year, the Wanderers, Newcastle, Wellington, and then the premiers, Adelaide United, without a win yet.
Yeah, they've only drawn 3 times as well, so they've lost 5 games.
Been a very, very bad start for the reigning premiers.
Yeah, although Melbourne City looks like they're doing all right, considering Bruno Fornaroli has the most scores. But yeah, has Tim Cahill still been playing? But he just did he play a couple of games and then stop?
Yeah, he's played a couple of games. I think he played on the weekend actually.
Oh, he did. He did play on the weekend. I think they're just testing the water with him.
Yeah,
because it's one of those ones where he's just one of those players where he's kind of a marquee player, so you don't want him injured.
Because I don't think he's playing a striker role. He's playing more of a midfielder role.
Yeah, which is different to what he plays for Australia. But yeah, he's only scored 2 goals this season.
And that awesome one against Victory.
That one and another one. But to be fair, Fornaroli, he is second on the list of goals scored after Fornaroli on 7. Yeah, it's it's mainly just Fornaroli scoring goals every game.
And then talking about Melbourne City, on Wednesday at 7:30 p.m, they do take on the Sydney FC in the FFA Cup final.
Oh yeah, that is Wednesday.
Which is good because they're the top 2 teams as well, and I think they play as well in the A-League.
Oh really?
Not next week. I think they play the week after. Yes, they do.
Oh wow, that is going to be one to watch. Maybe there's a bit of vengeance going on in that one.
It's going to be a Friday night at ANZ Stadium, so hopefully that game will be a packed house. Hopefully, Wednesday will be a packed house as well with them playing in the FFA Cup final.
Hopefully, Tim Cahill is going to be playing in the final, and I'm just like, you know he will.
Oh yeah, and he's a big occasion person as well. That's what they need. We need someone to rise to the occasion.
He is not one that is gonna buckle under the pressure of playing in front of a massive crowd, and so that's good. That's what we want, really.
Let's jump codes now.
So we're pulling Jared Hayne.
Yes, we're pulling Jared Hayne. We'll go to the NBA, and I'm not happy about this, but I complain about a lot of things. I'm known to complain. The top 2 in the NBA at the moment are the Golden State Warriors and the Cleveland Cavaliers, which, if you're just someone who likes basketball, watching the NBA and not a hardcore fan, it gets tiring after a while, seeing the same teams who played in the last 2 championship playoffs. Yeah,
but to be fair, this year it's nowhere near as blowout here as it was last year.
Oh, yeah.
For the Warriors. They're 15-2. The Clippers are 14-3. So are the Spurs are 14-3. Those 2 teams are nipping at their heels.
Oh, I just think because the salary cap in the NBA is different than all sports. They have, if you play for so many amount of years, you're not even a part of the salary cap anymore.
Oh yeah.
So that for me kind of ruins it. And having all these, you don't want to have a super team
though. It prevents the building of super teams like the Heat at one stage, where everyone's like, oh, let's take a pay cut and go play for the Heat so we can win a championship, because none of those players really stuck around.
Yeah. Well, no, they haven't any. I think there's only one left in the Heat.
LeBron is back at Cleveland.
Wade's at the Bulls.
Yeah, they've all left after winning their championship ring.
I don't know about you. I'm pretty sure I said this last week. I've all the Miami jerseys that people used to wear, I can't see them anymore.
Yeah, no, because they've all left.
But they're the diehard supporters.
Yeah, but no.
They're not, and I hate it. I hate it with a passion. Now, let's go over to the NFL now. The big game at the moment, this is pretty much a 2-horse race as well, you would safe to think. Oh, actually, I wouldn't say it's a 2-horse race. You got the Raiders, the Seahawks.
NFL is one of the more less sort of.
Oh, it's very close. I still remember last year. It was the Panthers. I think over here. It was last year. It was the Panthers, the New England Patriots, and the Arizona Cardinals.
Yeah.
As they were all kind of close, and then the Broncos were third. So they were fourth, and they won the playoffs. So they won the Super Bowl. So NFL is a much closer sport. But at halftime, you got the New England Patriots drawing with the New York Jets 10-0.
What?
The Oakland Raiders are going to continue their winning ways, defeating last year's minor premiers, the Carolina Panthers.
NFL doesn't really have minor premiers though.
Yeah, but I like
because of the conferences.
I just like the name minor premiers. The team who has the most wins. What about the Seattle Seahawks? The Seattle Seahawks are currently losing to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers 5-14.
Yeah. Who knows?
So it's big week in all sports, actually.
Yeah, it's a big week, and keep tuning in. If you're interested in the NFL, there's another game. There's another 2 games on. There's another game on today, Chiefs versus the Broncos, and tomorrow there's the Packers versus the Seagulls. The Philadelphia Eagles. I don't know why I said Eagles. Anyway, I think I'm thinking of another team.
You think of the Seattle Seahawks?
No, the Seattle Seahawks.
Oh yeah.
I don't know. I'll look it up.
Manly Seagulls?
Maybe that's what I'm getting confused with. Anyway, I think that's all we've got time for here on the Sports Desk on your Monday morning. You can tune into the Sports Desk on Friday with Ben and Justin, as well as next Monday with me and Liam.
We only have 2 shows left, don't we?
Yeah, only a couple left, so keep tuned.
Our season's almost over.
Yeah, keep tuned. Stay tuned for Schools on Air.